Howdy there. Last night I watched The Source Code, or is it just Source Code? It is just Source Code. I enjoyed it. This is the second time I've seen it. First time I saw it in the theater. I wanted to see it again in the theater. Didn't get a chance to, disappointingly. So finally got to rent the Blu-ray. So there it is. I enjoyed it. After the theatrical experience, I gave it a 9. And now, after watching it at home, I want to give it an 8. You know, it kind of went down a little bit for me. Just because I started to think a little bit more. And in the theater, you know, when the visuals are so huge and beautiful and the story is, you know, right there in your face and it's loud and you're just absorbed into it, you know, I didn't really think. I was just like, wow, that's cool. Here I started to think about things and wonder, well, how are they doing that? How are they doing this? And basically I just started to nitpick it a little bit too much. So I kind of gave it an 8. It was very interesting that I watched X-Men First Class recently, and I gave the theatrical experience an 8, and I gave watching it at home a 9, and now I'm reversing it. I gave this a 9 in the theater, and I'm giving it an 8 at home. It's like with X-Men, I just had more fun with it, you know, not thinking about it, sitting, you know, in my room at home, and had fun, where with Source Code, I was just like, now wait a minute, how are they doing this, and, you know, what's going on here? So I just started, you know, thinking more about it. So, you know, I think an 8 is fine. It's still a really, really good movie. One of the better science fiction films of the year. I'd say probably the best science fiction film since Inception. It's going to draw a lot of comparisons to Inception. It's about, well, it's kind of hard to explain. Stopping a terrorist attack. They send a man using a formula, I guess, the source code, into the last 8 minutes of someone who's going to die on the train. So he has 8 minutes to stop the bomb on the train. Well, basically his mission is to find out who the bomber is, so they can stop a imminent threat. So he's got 8 minutes on the train, and every time the train blows up, he goes back to where he really is, which is in a government building as a part of a government program, and he is mentally traveling to the source code. Now, that's, I mean, it gets very confusing. I don't know how they keep the brain activity of the person who died alive. Again, the more you think about it, the more it will take you out of the story. I don't want to say the more you think about it, the less it will make sense, but that's kind of the case. But it's very focused and very original, and I really liked it. You know, I have to think of many movies to compare this movie to. I think of Inception. I think of 12 Monkeys. I think of Groundhog Day. You know, it all has similar, you know, themes or a feel of those films. But I think this stands on its own. I think it is, you know, a very good film. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Vera Farmiga, Jeffrey Wright, Michelle Moynihan. Those are the names. It's filled up with several like character actors. You'll recognize a couple faces. there's several other minor characters of the people on the train. I also enjoyed the terrorist. I thought he was pretty creepy and cool. Let's see. Written by Ben Ripley. I'm unfamiliar with that name. Directed by Duncan Jones. Duncan Jones, a.k.a. the son of David Bowie. Also directed Moon. He's really got his stamp on science fiction. I mean, a lot of people like Moon. I enjoyed Moon. I thought it was good. A lot of people think Moon is, like, awesomely great. So Duncan Jones becoming a big voice in science fiction. I noticed that neither the screenwriter nor director produced it. So this is kind of a lot of fingers in the pot here. I thought all of the acting was really good. Jake Gyllenhaal did some weird stuff. I enjoyed his performance. I enjoyed all the performances. Vera Farmiga is very good here. Bridget Moynihan, all the performances very good. I think Jeffrey Wright is a standout. I think, he's a very good actor, and he's very good in about everything he does. Here, he's, he really kind of chews the scenery a bit, which I love. I love when a good actor can get really hammy, but yet keep it grounded and real. He twitches a lot here. He has a lot of vocal tics. He just really spent a lot of time fleshing out his character, and it really pays off. I think that he's the most enjoyable part of the film for me. He makes me, giggle, when I watch it, because he's so good, and, he's into it, Looks good, it looks good. Special effects are good. I thought, for being a Blu-ray and everything, and having, the best connections, whatever, I thought the film looked, like, grainy, which, I guess it's supposed to, because it's, a futuristic tale. It takes place in the future, the not too distant future, but, future films tend to be like this gritty, like everything's just going to get worse in our world. So that kind of holds true. Kind of darker than I thought it should be. I don't know, it was just like surprised that the picture of the film wasn't bright and beautiful, and it was more grainy and dark and a lot more shadowy than I remember. But still, good looking film. It really established a feeling to it. It is, very tense. I felt like I'm, right there with them. Very nervous, I, wanted them to catch, the bad guy. It did, a lot of people talk about the ending, and it is kind of unsettling when you think about it. What is happening to Sean, the fella he takes over on the train? And again, I don't want to give away too much. I mean, that's pretty much the ending of the film right there. But, it is... He's getting to live, but he's doing so at the expense of another person. What happens to him? Again, when you start thinking about it, like, I just want to know more about the source code. What? You're just asking these questions sometimes, and the film doesn't really provide an answer, which it doesn't have to. I mean, you can get aggravated about it, and you can use your imagination, whatever. But it's still like, the movie is called The Source Code, so you kind of want to know about the source code. You want to know how it works, and it's still just kind of, I have no idea, how they, did it. But science fiction, whatever, they don't have to answer those questions. It just would have been a lot better movie if they had provided some more of those details. But it is a very good film. Very well directed. Very tense. Well written. you know. Very well acted. I really just enjoyed the film. Again, probably one of the better science fiction films of the year, if not the best, and probably the best science fiction film I've seen since Inception. Just really good, really original. Again, you have to like combine aspects of a few other films to make this film. So I thought that, you know, a lot of heart and soul went into it, and a lot of thinking, and I thought it was a good idea. You know, it's I can use a sequel, you know, maybe to go back and see how they invented the source code, how they discovered it, you know, what exactly, you know, give me more. You know, I wanted more. That is one thing that I really enjoyed about the film, is how focused it is. You know, it's about a 90-minute film. It's actually under 90 minutes if you're actually watching it. And, you know, it's short, focused, gets to it. And there's something rewarding about escaping and having it be, you know, just over and done like that. And you're like, wow, you know, that was an hour and a half. It went by like that. So that's cool. You know, that's focused, you know, filmmaking right there. So I did enjoy that it's like this good little story that you can escape, you know, for an hour and a half, and it leaves you thinking, it leaves you satisfied. It's, you know, it's a good movie. You know, it's a really good movie. So that's Source Code. I want to see it again. You know, I hope to see it again in the near future. But that's Source Code, and I'm going to give it an 8, you know, a solid 8, but it will be around for a while. So I have no doubt that I will watch it again, maybe notice more, maybe enjoy it more. So there's Source Code. It's a solid 8. Thank you.